Ceausescu's social and moral laws were pernicious. A married woman was required to have children or face monthly fines. Contraception was illegal. A grotesque result of this policy was large numbers of unwanted babies ending up in orphanages like this. Doctors here said these children were seriously impaired emotionally and intellectually due to lack of staff. Yet the law made it easy to put children in orphanages and extremely difficult to adopt them.
Life in Romania has changed extraordinarily. Homes are warmer, streets are brighter, there's more food in the shops, people speak and act openly. And why? Because the Romanian people decided to end their enforced enslavement to the dictator Nicolae Ceausescu.
The first time I heard about the Radio Trust was we had heard that Mary Cregan was doing like different trips with young people out there, and she'd been out there for years.
I think it was about 25 years ago when she first came. Loads of Irish aid workers came out here. I think Mum first came with trade aid and saw a need for work here, so she set up the Radio Trust with other volunteers.
I suppose this Changing Minds project all came about when we had spent, I suppose, a lot of time over the years running fundraisers to fundraise like the trips out in Romania. With Changing Minds, I was looking for a way that we could kind of achieve what we wanted to do out in Romania, but have less of the worries over fundraising, so we could actually just get to the work and do it. So it was through an Erasmus Plus grant that I started looking into then. That's how it all came about.
But Niall's amazing, like he's so like proactive and so good at organising things, and he doesn't even realise it himself, like he doesn't give himself enough credit at all. But he just said it, and I remember just being like really interested in like the whole like project idea and Changing Minds. It's just such a good idea, because at home there is like a bad perception of Romanians, and then changing the minds of the Romanians in Romania. Like it'd be so good if people close, like living in Romania, could go to the group homes more frequently than us, because it's so hard coming over in the summer and knowing we mightn't see them for another year when we leave.
Me too. I feel like for a long time, I suppose disability here was just kind of pushed to the side, you know, don't talk about it, don't see it, grand, or don't worry about it kind of thing. It's definitely improving, I think, a lot more. Part of the project as well, as I was like, surely, you know, some young Romanian people should be coming here doing what we're doing as well, like they'd be a massive help.
We can split the Romanians in two. Are there people which are trying to help and they are doing something for the people with special needs? But there are also people which maybe they never heard about it. So probably this project will try to make some light in this problem.
Two main aims of the Changing Minds Erasmus Plus project is number one, to raise awareness about disabilities in Ireland and Romania, and the second main aim was to change the stereotype of countries such as Romania.
Going in those gates, as I said, it was around 35-40 degrees into the pilot centre, and actually the first thing you notice is just the volume of people like running at you or coming, like being pushed in wheelchairs, or it's such a shock, and like I don't know, it kind of opened our eyes to what there is out there in the world. I suppose you wouldn't really believe it until you see it.
I remember talking to them after, and they all said, "Oh, it's not as bad as I thought it would be," but they were still stunned. Like when we walked into that first room and they saw everyone, I remember looking at the girls and they didn't know where to look, they didn't know what to do. But then slowly, like 5 minutes into it, they were over talking to people and like playing with them or whatever.
We went in and we were chatting to the clients, and they were literally, I'd never seen anyone so happy to ever meet us before, I'd say. And to be honest, I'd say we never will meet anyone so happy to meet us for the rest of our lives. They're literally just so delighted to be in your presence, and you can see how much it means to them, really.
It was like Mary said the other day, like no one will ever love you like that. It was just really flattering, and I think I was really worried about how I'd react to it, but I think I dealt with it way better than I thought I would.
Went in to their houses and we started doing arts and crafts with them. And I was a little bit nervous at first, but you know, once you start getting involved in doing things, it takes your mind off of all the nerves. And just something as simple as, you know, playing with the balloon with them, putting stickers on their hands, they love that. Or simple things make a big difference, and after that, it all just kind of came naturally.
I need to have more gratitude towards everything in my life, like every aspect. Have more gratitude towards, because like I know I myself, I don't like appreciate everything I probably should do, and just from seeing how people live and how like lucky I am, like how blessed I am, like I really need to start appreciating it more than I actually do.
Like I remember when I came out here, I knew what a disability was, and I knew like how it affected people, but I know the majority of people you don't really understand it until you see it. And through bringing out these 4th years and 5th years from Castlebar and Skibbereen, and getting like even to bring down some of the Romanians living in Glatz and places, and even in the surrounding areas in Negrovoda, getting them working with some of the clients in the Aurelia Trust. Like if they can make even the tiniest difference in any of the beneficiaries' lives, and you can change their perspective and feelings and attitudes towards the clients, I suppose that's what success would be to me.
This week was amazing. I cannot believe that the young people were so involved in the project, and they were so caring, and even some of them were so emotional. They've done a great job with the clients, so I think that was an amazing week for all of us, and we had so many things to learn, each one of us.
I think we need the community to help. I can notice that the community in Romania, back in Romania, they started to be more open. They started to be more, paying more attention. And that's a good thing. It was a really interesting project. It wasn't easy, but we did it.
I learned that we should change minds, but before we are changing minds, we should change our minds. So we have to act different, to feel different, to see things different. After we saw the co-action, Lily was like, we should do this too in Romania. So there's a big hope.
So obviously it's hard, it's tough to put the project into words, but between Romania and Ireland, it is a change in minds, but I suppose we learned a lot about ourselves, and a lot of people said that today in our reflections as well.
This project taught me a lot about working with people with disability, to work with people from a different country, and to share different ideas and to work together for a bigger purpose.
I like to see the things I saw in Ireland. I like to see people with disability treated like they're normal people, and they can enjoy life. I would love to see that in Romania.
I suppose through this whole project we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about disabilities, we've learned a lot about Romania, but I think most importantly we've all learned so much about ourselves and how we can make a difference. Like, I think at the end of the day it's a really rewarding experience, and you really do get so much out of it. Like, you learn about those people, you learn about yourself, you learn about everyone that you're working with, and it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's been a benefit, especially since all the conferences that we did. Like, I hate public speaking before that, but now that we did this, you know, you're not as nervous and jittery. Like, even when we did the TY graduation, I didn't really have much of a problem with going up because we'd done it before, so it was a benefit.
Learning about culture was fantastic, like just going to a different country, experiencing what they experience on the daily, and then just meeting new people was just amazing. Like, we get so set in where we are and where we live, and maybe sometimes we forget about the hundreds and thousands of different places that are around the world, and if you get an opportunity to do that and experience that, like, you should definitely take it.
Being in Romania, I think, like, I've taken so much for granted. Like, I think being here, you just have to put a positive on everything, and I've learned so much about myself as well. Like, I'm so much more confident now. Like,
I suppose there was so many learning kind of outcomes from the whole experience. There was just so many levels and dimensions of the project. One of the massive things I saw is that they grew massively as people, you know, like they completely headed the project themselves. I really was only there kind of overseeing everything. I did very little for them. So they grew massively in their own confidence, in their ability to organise and make decisions themselves. So like personally, they had done 360 from where they began, you know, and it was kind of their own journey to go on. Within the project itself, I feel like we achieved all of the learning outcomes and aims that we had hoped to achieve from the very beginning. You know, just by going over there ourselves, we probably changed our own stereotypes that we didn't even realise that we had. They were amazing from start to finish. They were superb. I'm so proud of them. Even if you look back from when they first started doing their little interviews or, you know, their little kind of profile sections, they're completely different in front of the camera now, never mind, you know, with the hands-on of the project. And they even talk about that themselves all the time, you know, that they were so shy and kind of introverted from the beginning, and for a finish, they're like one massive family. They're so comfortable with each other, and I feel like that was just the intensity of the project from the onset. They grew massive leadership skills, all of them individually, and some of them, I suppose, more obvious than the others, but still they all kind of grew in some way, shape or form. In their ability to communicate, I just feel like even personally, like there was moments in Romania, and even when the Romanians came over to us, there was moments with each of them that, you know, they talked about how it had impacted on their own personal life, completely external to the project. So they all have grown in one way or another and are completely different people than the people they were when they started out. It's amazing to see and to look back on. We're really lucky to have been involved in it.
They've done all of this, so this is young people and they're the future. The likes of me will be gone. It's hands across borders, you know, they're young people who are working together. And I would think that they're going to make huge changes down the road. I'm very proud of the Irish and Romanian students here. You know, that this would have been unheard of in the 90s, that they'd go for funding, for Erasmus funding. I just think it's absolutely amazing, and it's, you know, it's great hope for us, and it will change. It will help change.
I think the work was quite intensive, and it was just so important. I think that everybody bonded really quickly and really well. I've noticed huge differences in them. I think a huge growth in, they matured quickly. They began to think outside of their own needs and consider other people's. And I just think that added a deeper layer to their personalities. It's so important to me that projects like this are genuinely youth-led. Just believing that young people can do this. I think that's actually really at the core of its success. If there was one thing I'd love to say to any adult or community worker or youth worker who is in a position of power, I suppose, where a young person comes in with an idea, I would just say to listen to that person and to trust that young people have huge ability and huge capacity, but you have to believe in them. And I think that belief has taken us right through this project.
Here in Romania, we say like, with one flower, we will don't bring spring. But maybe with a lot of flowers, like all of our actions, it might change something.